I think we've got everybody, so we're ready to get started. Wanted to see if you all wanted to add anything about start of the school year, enrollment numbers so far.
Well, we're very excited about the start of the school year. We've seen some increases in first-time college students at Mizzou and at UMSL, and all four universities can celebrate the increases in student success as measured by awards as well as graduation retention rates. We're also very excited and thankful for the board for the support of 12 projects that will receive $240 million in funding to advance our mission as a research, educational, and engagement institution. On top of that, we learned today from Chancellor Agrawal about the exciting plans for the Health Sciences District that will feature a new building, a new $100 million building that will better serve the needs of our medicine faculty, staff, and students, as well as dental medicine, pharmacy, and nursing. So we're very excited about all of those.
Can you hear us on the phone? Okay.
Okay. I don't have to repeat it.
No.
All right.
Anything else that either of you wanted to add to Chancellor Agrawal's report on UMKC and the other exciting?
I also we appreciate the thoughtful approach to introduce differential tuition at UMKC. And the whole goal for that approach is to enable our students to attend this university, get a high quality education at an affordable price, and for students to graduate and graduate on time with less debt.
Can I open it up to questions? Neighbors, do you see any remarks? If you want to go first?
I actually have a question about the repairs on Virginia Avenue Park, that garage.
Mm-hmm.
Mizzou, and so it says on the document that the project will be expected to be completed in fall next year, 2023. And so I'm wondering if the garage is still open now, when will it be closed down for?
We're still evaluating that as part of our engineering analysis, and we want to have as small of an impact as possible for students, staff, and faculty members that park there. And we'll learn more as that analysis is completed later in the fall. Mhm.
Any other questions, neighbors?
And also about the PTO policy that just got approved today.
Yes.
So the librarian, the library staff, they recently published a letter saying that the new PTO policy will mean that UM now will have like the least days off among SEC schools and AAU schools, and wouldn't that make Mizzou less? Wouldn't that make like UM less competitive in attracting new staff members?
Well, the goal of the new LEAD program was to make our programs more competitive so that we can not only retain but also recruit outstanding staff, including librarians. But let me ask, I know that we did a study with Aon to look at how we rank among AAU and SEC schools. So if I can ask Marcia or the AAU or the Aon team. Marcia, do you wanna come up here so that they can hear you on the mic?
So that's a great question and one that we did a lot of research and work on. And I think it's important to note that what were proposed or what was approved is a different type of design. And so Aon was very thoughtful in helping us look at the information and comparing different designs, and that what we have approved is competitive, but it's in a different way. And so I think to address the letter that was presented was just didn't take into consideration some of the additional parts of the design that we think are very attractive to the current labor market, including short-term disability, parental leave, and caregiver leave.
I searched like some of the other universities on the SEC list and the AAU list, but then they also have like paid parental leave and so on. So I'm wondering, and then also like this new policy would actually like in total take 10 days off, and when you factor that in, and also the fact that other universities have paid time off for parental leave and so on, how does that still make it overall more competitive?
Yeah, so paid time off or PTO days are more flexible than some of the traditional buckets, such as sick leave, which is only intended to be taken if sick. And so it really is looking at that holistic approach of the flexible days of PTO and then of the more fixed days, which are the holidays and the winter break, and then those programs that are more the safety nets or as needed. So if you look at each of those categories, actually the flexible goes up, the as needed, the kind of safeguards go up by short-term disability is 20 weeks, parental leave is 4 weeks, and caregiver leave is 2 weeks. And those are all three new programs that, if needed, would be available for employees. Yeah.
Okay, Ashley, the panel, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I just want to ask, are there any other universities that have implemented this new PTO program? And if so, what have been the benefits or that?
Yeah, and I'll also let Aon add in if I've missed anything, but it is more common in other industries have moved to PTO, and we're seeing a trend that universities are starting to, but I would say the majority are still in the traditional model. And I don't know, John or G, if you want to add anything. Okay.
We're good. In general, for broader industry, you've seen organizations make that transition usually favorable on employees once they understand the value of that additional time forward.
I guess I'd just say, in addition to that, I know there are a lot of people who are not necessarily happy about the decisions. Do you guys think that's because people are not fully understanding the picture, or like, what do you think the people that are upset, what do you think people are upset?
I think there's two things. One, we heard from our Total Rewards Advisory Committee members that as people went to the information sessions and learned more, they became more comfortable and liked the plan better. So I do think there's part of our population who, with more information, will find the plan more appealing. I also think it's important to recognize that our current plan is a good plan. The design plan, new plan is a good plan, and there's pros and cons to each. And we think that the new plan will better meet the needs of the current labor market. But I recognize that you can pull out specific situations where someone could look at and think, I would rather have had the original plan. But holistic approach, we believe the new design was the right approach.
And we've got Kevin from the Columbia Tribune on the phone. Kevin, do you have any questions?
Yeah, this is for President Troy. How much concern do you have about employee possibly in response to the PTO changes?
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, let me repeat it. Sorry if I'm not coming through clearly. How much concern do you have about employees possibly deciding to leave in response to the PTO changes?
Well, I'm always concerned about employees leaving because of any actions that we take as a university. But as I shared with you before, this leave program is a modernization program that's used to attract and retain our staff members. We're going to monitor if there are departures, but as I shared in my presentation today, we had 1,455 new staff members join the university during the past 12 months. And many of these individuals believe in the mission of our universities and MU Healthcare, but also appreciate the compensation and total benefits that we provide to our employees at the university.
Okay, and we've got Rudy from Missouri Independent. Rudy, do you have any questions?
Yeah, this was a little bit off of the topic of what was on the board's agenda today, but the report that came out last Dr. Choi. I was curious if Dr. Choi found any of the items that were critical of his leadership were well stated or something that he thinks he needs to deal with in order to improve that relationship.
Well, I believe in constant evaluation of myself personally to improve my performance. And as I stated in the official response to the Faculty Council survey, there were many thoughtful comments that made me reflect and made me uh, reflect and ask myself, are there things that I can do better? And the answer is yes, absolutely. But it was, after all, a survey of nearly 2,400 faculty that resulted in about a 22% response rate. And I know that there are many faculty members that appreciate the direction of the university. And I'll continue to ensure that my actions benefit the broad spectrum of faculty from NTTs all the way to tenure track so that we can achieve the mission of the university. I also stated that change is hard. Look at what's happened during the past 5.5 years since I joined the university. And we made some very difficult but necessary decisions. And we recognize that change may be hard for some. But my goal is to serve the institution and bring along as many faculty members that want to contribute to the mission of the university.
And Rudy, this is oh go ahead. Rudy, this is Chair Chapman. This is Chair Chapman, and I wanted to just reiterate what Moon said and to state that from the board's perspective, we can always show room for improvement, whether it be as a board, as an administration, and as a university as a whole. And we take what the faculty said very seriously, but at the same time, we want everyone to understand, and we've stated this before, that President Choi was simply executing the board's directives, and we think he's done a good job at that. We of course see some areas that we need to improve on in our relationships with the faculty. We had, of course, some good comments, and also we got some good constructive feedback. So we're all moving forward, but at the same time, I want to echo that Dr. Choi has 100% support from our board, and we appreciate the work he's doing, and he continues to do the things that we have directed him to do, and he's done a great job.
I appreciate that. I was just wanted to follow up if Dr. Choi could name one thing. He said many thoughtful comments made me reflect and ask me things. Are there things I can do better? And the answer is yes, absolutely. So, is there one particular thing that you could identify now that would you think would benefit the relationship you have with that?
Well, I think it boils down to greater communication. And during the pandemic, as you may recall, I started my position as chancellor perhaps days before we went through a lockdown because of COVID. And so we've not had the type of engagement that a chancellor would like to have with the campus community by visiting them at faculty meetings and coffee hours and so forth. So the more communications about important things that are happening at the university and taking the input of faculty. Faculty members are the one constant at a university. And so taking their input to help improve the university is something that I take very seriously. And there will be more opportunities for me to do that now that we are out of the COVID pandemic as we knew it 2 years ago.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think we can open it up to any follow-ups that anybody has, either in person or on the phone. Yes.
I'm asking you about the Brazilian. My question would be for Ms. Fisher. I was just wondering what some of the qualities of the existing leave plans for higher administration officials and faculty members were, and if those plans were consistent with this new plan for other employees that are at the UN system, and if not, what are some of the qualities of the existing leave plans for higher administration officials and faculty members were, and if those plans were consistent with this new plan for other employees that are at the UN system, and if not, what are some of the qualities of the existing leave plans for higher administration officials and faculty members were, and if those plans were consistent with this new plan for other employees that are at the UN system, and if not, what are some of the qualities of the existing leave plans for higher administration officials and faculty members were, and if those plans were consistent with this new plan for other employees that are at the UN system, and if not, what are some of the qualities of the existing leave plans for higher administration officials and faculty members were, and if those plans were consistent with this new plan for other employees that are at the UN system, and if not, what are some of the qualities of the existing leave plans for higher administration officials and faculty members were, and if those plans were consistent with this new plan for other employees that are at the UN system, and if not, what are some of the qualities of the existing leave plans for higher administration officials and faculty members were, and if th are there plans in place to, I guess, make them more aligned?
So the plan that we discussed today would be for all staff, a variety of levels from top executives to entry-level positions. 12-month faculty have 4 weeks of paid leave per year. That does not carry over.
Any other questions on the phone or in the room?